So, back at Eagleton Middle School for this fourth reflection, talking about the English language learners class, ESL class. And this is the program that I knew the least about. I didn't really know much about ESL other than that the kids left at the end of the day and didn't come back. So it was really informative for me to get to see what all went on in the classroom, and it reminded me a lot of just a regular English classroom, just downgraded to their levels. And so students came in, they started off with a journal reflection. Teacher put a prompt on the board and asked them to respond, and they were very unsure of themselves. I noticed they didn't. Their question was, if you can invent something, what would you invent? And they were just like, what? They were very confused, and they were very timid, and they didn't know what to say, what to do, and they were very adamant about it being correct and not just being creative. So a lot of them, the teacher gave an example, and a lot of them just used that example and just basically repeated what he said. So I thought that was interesting, but I think what the teacher was trying to get them to do was just to write and learn to get the practice into writing in English, which I think is just all he wanted. So well, that was interesting, and the students got an opportunity to share with each other what they had written and get some verbal English language use there. And then they did a workbook. They were working on vocabulary, so they had their own. They had the notebook, and then they had their book. So they were working out of that. And while they were working, I had an opportunity to talk to the teacher, and he was telling me that there is no real set ESL curriculum for the district. They have access to a store of books, materials, resources that they can all pull from. What other teachers may be using may not be what he's using. They generally follow the same format. They generally do kind of the same activities, but the resources or the books or the activities might vary from class to class. And I thought that was interesting. I know that he said that they do have state standards, just like everything else, and so they do try to meet those standards, just like all the other classes. And he said that the students are pulled out of school, and this ESL class counts as their English credit. So when they go back to school, they get their grade cards or their grade reports. He enters in that grade for their English portion. So I thought that was interesting as well. And I talked to him about how students got into the program, and he said that there is a big test at the beginning of the year that students take that places them at a certain level, and if they score at a certain level on the test, then they are placed in the program. But parents do have the option of opting out of the program. If they don't want their kids to be pulled out, they want them to be mainstreamed and stay in the classroom, then they have the right to override that. If the students' grades start to reflect poorly and they feel like having that program would be best for them, then they have the option of conferencing with the family and with the parents and saying, hey, this might be helpful to your students. But then the parents also still have that right to say, no, we don't want to do that. So that was interesting. And what I really thought when I first got there, he was ending his class with the younger elementary students, and I thought it was fun to see how he ended class. He asked them if they wanted a high five or a hug, and I thought that was really neat. That they could say goodbye in that way, and just have a quick giggle, before they leave the class. I thought it was really, really kind of a nice personal touch, and you could tell the kids really did enjoy being with the teacher and being in the class, and that was a fun-loving, caring atmosphere. So that was the ESL visit.